this computer. Hi. Great. It's so exciting.
It is.
Yeah. Hello, Donna. Hi,
Hello.
Elena. Hi. Hi, Alexandra.
Hello, everyone. So nice to see all of you.
Just admitting more people in.
Yeah.
Anshu is joining. Look at the music. What do you think? Is it nice?
Yeah, it's nice. It puts people in the mood. I know I can't see all of you guys, but you know, if you want to dance and get grooving and moving your muscles and joints and stuff would be good.
Yeah, do you want to put your video on so we can see your beautiful faces? Feel free to put your video on. I'm just admitting a few more people. Oh, there's Alexandra's beautiful drop background.
Yay.
Awesome. Hi. It's Friday. Whew. TGIF.
Yes, TGIF.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm going to be taking a week off next week. It's going to be my staycation.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Great. I'm glad you make time for
some
that.
time. Yeah. So I'm doing all the kind of things I would normally do when I go on vacation here.
You're tourists in your own city, right?
Restaurants, massages, shopping,
Oh,
you name it,
wow.
everything. Yeah. It's gonna have some time.
That's wonderful. I'm going to Boston, so we're leaving soon, right after this call in a
Nice.
couple hours.
Oh, you're leaving today?
Yeah, I'm
Oh, for
going
the long
just for the
weekend.
weekend and
Yeah.
doing the Freedom Trail.
Nice.
Have you been to Boston?
I've always wanted to go.
Yeah. Beautiful. I've been there twice. This is my third time and I love it. Love
Mm.
it there. I could live there.
Really? Do you want to wait just a couple more minutes before you start? Or do you want to start? Okay.
Does anybody want to put your introduction in the chat box? Tell us why you're here. What is this topic? Why is this topic of interest to you?
Where are you guys dialing in from? What location of the world are you from?
Arash is here.
Maybe it's dropping in and out.
Yeah.
Pinellas Park, Florida. Yay.
Oh, nice.
Oh, okay. Pinellas Park, Florida. All right. Colorado. Hello to Colorado. That's awesome. Hi, Alec from Philippines.
Hey there, Alec. I hope it's not too late for you.
I think it's midnight right now.
Is that why you have your camera off? So we don't see you in your PJs in bed? Well, thank you guys for joining. I'm just admitting a few more people in.
Okay, I think we're good to start in like a moment.
Yes. Okay. I'll watch out for the people coming in. Alexandra is coming in also.
Okay.
Hi, Alexandra.
And
You look so athletic.
was thinking earlier. Thank you. Hi, Fondi.
Hi, how are you, Alexandra?
I'm good. I can't wait to your workshop, guys. I love your barcodes. They're very clever.
Oh, thank you. Anyone, you guys were free to take a click and check us out. Check out the program. All right, so hi everyone. Thank you for coming. It's really exciting for us to be here with you because we love what we teach and we live what we teach. So my name's Fondi Tam and I'm a mindset coach. And so if anyone missed me last week, I did a talk on self-image and the importance of it and how it affects your life. So if you missed that, Cindy will be able to send out the link after our webinar today. Cindy's been doing a series actually of webinars. She's been teaching. And Alexandra from Lovejoy, who's here, she did a talk with Cindy about hope molecules. So if you missed that, Cindy, you'd like to share that too?
Yeah, I can send you more information by email if you weren't part of that webinar. It was like 2 weeks ago. And so, yeah, when you exercise, when you move your body, your muscles, when they contract, they actually generate these proteins that cross through the blood-brain barrier and can influence your mood and, bring you into a more stable mood for, feeling calm, for feeling hopeful. And that's why they call it the hope molecules. They've done some studies on mice about that. And that's going to be in the app. So I'm going to send you more information about it. Last week, I did a webinar with Fondi on mindset. And Fondi and I are currently teaching a program called the Life Detox. And the reason why we both thought that, mindset and food and nutrition are so important to sustain a healthy mind, healthy mood is because, as we all know, for example, through the pandemic, many people had anxiety and many people, in fact, more than 30% prescription drugs were, given out and increased. I mean, more than 30% increase of prescription drugs were given out. And, that, if you think about it, that is really a mindset thing. Like all of a sudden, you have uncertainty, and that's really a mindset thing. But on the fundamental side of it, what was the diet like for most people? A lot of people, what was open? The restaurants were closed. There was a lot of people going on junk food, Uber, with like just panicky, convenient food. And basically, there is a connection between the gut and the brain. And so if you focus only on mindset and you work on your emotions, for sure that will help. But if you don't have proper nutrition to give yourself those healthy brain cells, healthy nerve cells, you're also going to have like lack of nutrients to sustain these hormones, these happy molecules. So that's why I really think that both mindset and nutrition is crucial for your mental health. Fanny, did you want to add anything more?
Yeah, for the self-image, I mean, for those of you that missed it, everything that you do actually comes from that place. So how you see yourself and how you fit into your world, all your decisions come from that place. So when you're coming in here today, when we're studying with Cindy, the health benefits of, taking care of your mental health with diet, and there's the holistic part of what the exercise that Alexandra teaches her Pilates. So there's this whole holistic approach to being well, but you have to do like work to sustain it. So, some people go on a diet and then they stop within like the first, I don't know, month, and they don't sustain it because they have a certain idea of, who they are, and all the decisions come from that place. So the self-image aspect is really, really important, and you have to supplement it with diet. You have to supplement it with a lifestyle, with exercise and movement, right? Everything plays a role. And so before I let Cindy go into all of her goodies in terms of the gut-brain connection and a diet that goes to support that, I need to talk to you guys more about the program because I had contacts from others that came to the webinar, and I was so engrossed in my teaching that I didn't have really a chance to tell all about the program. So I'm going to do it really quickly right now. So the program that we're doing today is kind of like what we do in the actual 6 months that we teach. So we alternate. So Cindy teaches 1 week, the next week I teach. So it gives you time to assimilate the information and embody all that we're teaching. And if you have any questions, you can reach us in our group. So you can have this great resource of a community. And so we have a community, we have lessons, and we have the live talks that we give every week. So it's a mixture of information and interaction. So this is awesome for your path and all the improvements you make because it supports you. You know, it's very hard when you're trying to make changes and you're doing it all by yourself. And you know, Cindy and I have been doing a lot of work, and she's in the nutritional side because she has dealt with certain things, and she found that she needed something like this. She needed something where she needed extra help with nutrition. It's not just going to the doctor, but she needed that extra bit that the doctors don't have. So doctors aren't trained in nutrition. And so Cindy healed herself with nutrition, and now she has the nutrition aspect. That's what she teaches. For me, I went through some things, very, very hard things. And I needed help with the thinking process and how my thoughts were affecting everything in my life. I went through some very, very hard times. And so we were filling in the spaces where conventional medicine doesn't offer. So the community, having people support, not just getting a prescription for something, but literally having a group of people in a non-judgmental atmosphere when you can speak, you could talk your story out and implement all the tools that we teach. So, you know, you go to the doctor and you get a prescription for something, but then what? You don't get to the root cause of it, right? A lot of disease comes from stress, not having proper nutrition to support the stress. And then what do you do when you're running with anxiety and depression and having a lot of issues in relationships? It's all a thinking process and a mindset. So this is why we created this, and we are really passionate about it, and we know it's going to help you. So I have these QR codes next to my picture. Actually, it's on that side. My camera's always weird, but anyway, it's on next to me. Feel free to take out your phones, click and check them out. Check out the links. Has our link tree in there. So Cindy and I have included all of our social information in there, and our website. So, and our Calendly. So if you need to reach out and make an appointment, we offer free consults. So we can like see if we have like a good working match. So you can get to know us a little bit better, and we can get to know you a little bit better. And all of our programs and everything are also in there. If you don't want to click with your phone, go into the chat box. If you're new to Zoom, you're going to go on the bottom. There's a little square bubble there. Click on it, and it'll open up into this panel on the side. And at the very, very top, I included a link tree, a link in there. That's the same thing as one of the QR codes. And you go in there, you can see both Cindy and I will have all of our information in there. All right. So our program is 6 months, and it's $399. And we're doing a 25% promo. So when you click on there and you go into my QR code, if you type in autumn 25, all right.
So
Autumn
Fondy, it's
25.
3999.
Sorry?
You said 399. I'm like, there's one more
Oh,
nine.
39999, missed the nine.
And we are offering flexible payment plans.
Yeah.
So in the course of the 6 months, you're getting 3 coaching sessions with each of us. So 3 with me, 3 with Fondy. So that's 6 coaching sessions. You're also getting a resource vault full of, there's an ebook on gut health, recipes, meal plans. And the thing about eating healthier, there's an aspect of removing toxins, which I'll talk about. And removing toxins is very systematic. You have to go through a checklist and look at, what areas of your life, not just emotions, but, what you put on your skin, what's in your water, what's in your food. How do you cook your food? How do you package your food? What are those chemicals? How are they affecting your hormonal system and your gut system? So that's what's also included in the program.
Mm-hmm. So Cindy, are you ready to roll?
Yes, I am. I wasn't sure if you wanted to add. There is a 25% off discount if you put in the promo code August 25. And so, without further delay, I'm going to go right into my slides. And let me just share my screen.
Also, I just wanted to add a little housekeeping. So if you have any questions, you could raise your hand in the reaction section, there's a palm up you can click on, and Cindy will see on your screen, your little picture, that you have something to ask, or you can put it in the chat box. Okay, thanks everybody. Enjoy.
Yeah, thank you, Fondi. So, as you had said earlier, having a good mental health involves multiple elements, or there's movement, there's sleep, how are you sleeping? There's your emotions, your thoughts and beliefs. And there's nutrition and supplementation, which I'll go into. And then there's removing the toxicity, removing what's getting in your way. What are those negative thoughts? What are those negative chemicals? What are the stressors in your life that that you can remove? And for those who cannot remove it, how do you change your perspective of it? Because changing your perspective on stress can also make a difference. You can look at stress as something that gives you resilience instead of something that will break you down, so just changing your mental state around those topics will really help. Prayer and meditation and learning a new instrument, learning a new language will also help to build more neural pathways. But let me get more into the nutrition aspect. So basically the topic is about the gut brain connection. So I'm not sure if you have heard of the vagus nerve. So there's a nerve that goes right into the center of your body along your spine, and it connects your brain up here with your brain down there, and they call it the second brain. But that brain of the gut brain is actually older than your first brain. So some people will call that the first brain because they are both made from the same tissue in the womb. So when you're developing as a fetus in the womb, it starts off with the same tissue, the same neurotransmitters, and then eventually there's nerves that connect both, the bottom part and the top part, and then eventually it evolves. And there's constant communication between the gut and the brain. And that in your gut, there's a lot of bacteria that resides, and it's called the microbiome, and they're affected by emotions. And by your emotions, actually. And when your emotions change, their secretions change. So this little highway, I like to call it, between your head and your gut, the vagus nerve, there's 20% of the communication from your brain going down to your gut. So it will communicate how much digestive juices to secrete, blood glucose levels. But the majority, if you look on the right, 80% is actually from the gut to the brain. So the energy levels, if you're hungry or not, these are microbes that are communicating. Hormone levels, this is the 80% that goes up to your brain. And your brain is made out of more than 70% fat. And this little, picture shows 70% of the feel-good hormone called serotonin is made in your gut and gets into your brain eventually. But in fact, now when I look at studies, they're talking about 90 to 95% of the serotonin is actually made in your gut. And serotonin is a hormone that keeps you feeling calm and balanced. And so it's also a precursor to melatonin, which helps with sleep. So if you don't have enough serotonin, you will have also issues with sleep quality. So the blood-brain barrier exists to protect, things from getting into your brain, things that don't belong, things that can cause inflammation and brain fog and, memory loss and all those things. But if your blood-brain barrier gets weakened and leaky, then things like bigger molecules, heavy metals, and proteins that aren't supposed to get in will eventually get in and cause a lot of issues with mood and inflammation and behavioral issues. So the blood-brain barrier is affected by the gut as well. If your gut is leaky, which means the membrane, the mucosal lining is inflamed or has pores, then there's molecules that will get into your bloodstream, and then those molecules can affect the barrier of your brain. So we can get into more details about that. In the course, I talk about different types of tests that you can do to check if you have leaky gut. But basically, the microbiome, just so you know, it exists everywhere in your body. It's not just in your gut, but also in the brain, on your organs, like your liver, the uterine lining, your sinus cavity. And it makes food for us, like nutrients for us. It actually produces B vitamins, serotonin, like I said earlier, vitamin K. And so it's very important to really keep that microbiome in balance and in check. So when you talk about the gut health and the gut-brain connection, you're really talking about two areas. One is the mucosal lining, the lining of your gut, make sure that's healthy and not inflamed. But the other part is the microbiome, the actual bacteria. And I wanted to show you this video. I really, really like it. I find that it summarizes so much of what I just said. Let me know if you can hear it though. Can you hear this? You're able to hear it? Yeah? Okay, good.
One of these groups had the germs in their stomach artificially removed, while the other had theirs left intact. Both groups were wired up and then exposed to a stressful experience. What they found that was while both groups responded to the stressor, the germ-free mice had a measurably exaggerated response. This sparked interest in a concept called the gut-brain axis. The idea that the microbes in your intestines vastly affect the way your brain and nervous system function. The link had previously not been made, but the next question was, of course, could this have an application for humans? It turns out it does, in a big way. There is, in fact, a war going on in your gut. The so-called good bacteria are pitted against the so-called bad bacteria. Now, who's winning this fight is of great importance to you. These bacteria can affect everything from mood to obesity levels. Both bacteria control important levers in the enteric nervous system, which in turn cause chemical cascades that affect all parts of your body, right up to your brain. An overabundance of the bad guys, for example, causes an imbalance that results in some very common psychological problems. While the good guys, on the other hand, can help keep us relaxed, they do this by releasing GABA and stimulating the vagus nerve, amongst other things. This collective of gut bacteria is known as the microbiome. They live inside you in symbiosis. You need them, and they need you. But just like you, they need to be fed in the right way. This brings us to a fact that has been known by most cultures for at least thousands of years, that what you eat shapes who you are. The food you put into your gut encourages the growth of one of these kinds of bacteria, and that in turn affects all of the aforementioned things. Given these advances, scientists have identified certain foods that encourage the good guy bacteria, and they call them probiotics. Now you might think this is a scientific breakthrough. Well, not quite. These have been known for literally thousands of years by the Roman, the Vedic, and the Chinese cultures, to name a few. 7 to 8,000 years ago, men of the Thracian culture, a warrior race, drank sour milk before going to battle. Marco Polo, the explorer, hailed the magical qualities of an ancient drink known as kefir. Now, one version of the Bible even says Abraham, the patriarch of Judaism, owed his long life to the consumption of sour milk. I say all this only to prove that this is not new knowledge, but medical science can be slow to catch up. Remarkably, many health professionals don't make much of this connection. Could this issue be an elephant in the room in mental health? Rates of mental illness are on an all-time high. About 9% of people are on antidepressants in the UK. The USA, the figure is over 10%. There are now more than 50 million prescriptions of antidepressants in the UK in a year. And when these diagnoses and prescriptions are made, diet is usually not part of the protocol. This not only ignores our ancestral knowledge, it actually is unscientific. The nervous system, like any organ, is highly sensitive to the environmental and is absolutely shaped by what you eat. The probiotics of yesteryear have been removed from the modern diet in favor of other foods, and no prizes for guessing the kind of bacteria they encourage. Could this be one of the major factors in the mental health epidemic we see in the Western world?
So that is the video. And I just thought it summed it up pretty well, which leads me to the next topic of what could help the microbiome. So the thing is, before we go into what supports it, it's important to know what actually hinders it. And one of the main things is chemicals. So chemicals that are not organically made in nature. Fluoride, chlorine, pharmaceuticals, and food additives, and also the heavy metals. And many times that's in our water through the pipes. And there's aluminum, mercury, and various types of metals. And also electromagnetic frequencies that also affect us. And glyphosates. Glyphosates is actually a hormone disruptor and is a form of antibiotic. So how many here, I can't really see the chat box, but how many here has heard of glyphosate? Do you want to put in your comment? Have you heard of glyphosate? Have you heard of Roundup Ready? Oh, I see it now. So yeah, so basically not me, says Konark. Yeah, actually I taught a class in the West Island where there were many women in their 50s and none of them heard of glyphosate. And I was so surprised. I think there was maybe 20 people. It was like a one-time 50 plus course and I just threw it out there, glyphosate. And they're like, what is that? So I was just surprised because it exists for a long time. So glyphosate is actually, you don't have to memorize any of this, but basically glyphosate is a herbicide. And when they created glyphosate, they actually didn't think it would harm humans because they thought that it would only affect fungi, some bacteria, and plants. Because plants have this thing called the shikimate pathway, which is how they make energy. It's an enzyme process, and it targeted the shikimate pathway. But in 2019, which is not far, just a few years back, they determined that that our gut bacteria uses the shikimate pathway. So glyphosate actually targets our gut bacteria. It's an antibiotic, and it is the world's most used herbicide still today. It is not banned in North America. In 2015, World Health Organization says it's carcinogenic. They know that. People have sued them, especially farmers who got cancer from using this too much. But it's actually linked to different types of lymphoma, non-Hodgkin lymphoma. And glyphosate is also found in our food and our water. So if you were to get a filter, make sure it filters out glyphosate. There's absolutely no safe level of glyphosate. It's almost like saying how much poop can you eat that you would want. You don't want any poop in your food. There's no level of poop. So it's a poison. There is no safe level. And in fact, Cheerios, if you look at the EWG.org, which is the Environmental Working Group, they did a study on Cheerios, that the cereal for kids that are very, very popular. It has crazy amounts of glyphosate. A lot of wheat products have it. And they really think that glyphosate is the reason for celiac, is a source of gluten intolerance that's increasing. And glyphosate is also affects our hormones. And, it's basically a poison. And so I can go on and on, but this is from the detoxproject.org. So if anyone's interested, you can read about all these studies, detoxproject.org. And this is the reason why I also find that going through a detox process is really important, so that you can really focus on getting organic, or even replacing certain foods that have glyphosate with other types of foods. So if you want to avoid gluten or certain foods that have been sprayed. And even some organic products have glyphosate. And the reason is because they actually spray the glyphosate as a desiccant to dry up the produce after it's been harvested. So even if it's organic 100%, it's been done very well, no chemicals, after they bring it to market, they actually spray it with glyphosate. So it's kind of tricky to avoid. So anyway, here is just a little bit of a text on the 2019 study that this product affects our gut bacteria. Key factor to celiac disease, gluten intolerance epidemic. And basically, I don't know if you understood that little video, but it said that the mice that had no bacteria in their gut really responded with like a heightened anxiety to stress versus the mice that have bacteria in their gut. So there's two things that I really want to focus on when it comes to rebuilding your gut bacteria and replenishing it. And the first thing is prebiotics. So most people heard of probiotics, having fermented foods like kefir, but you also need to make sure you eat the right types of plants and have the right types of fiber, so that those bacteria can thrive in your gut, so that those bacteria can actually stay in your gut for longer. And that's a variety of plant fibers, specifically garlic, onions, artichokes, chicory, asparagus. I listed them here just so you can maybe add some of this into your diet. Leeks. And what they're really looking for are both soluble and insoluble fibers. So the soluble fibers are the ones that basically kind of dissolve very well, and it's a bit slimy. So like think of a banana. It's not harsh. You don't have any pieces of fiber in your banana, but you have slime, right? Or garlic, you have that slimy texture that helps with the gut bacteria, and artichokes have that too. But you also need the insoluble fiber as well. So you need both. And flax seeds, beans, they're also a good source. And there have been talks more and more that, sorry, this screen is like blocking it a little bit here. There's been talks amongst the nutrition community now that the estimate is basically getting 30 different plants a week. So that's a lot of variety, but really to look out for different variety to feed your gut bacteria. And probiotics will also help as well to add back those bacteria, either through supplements or fermented foods, preferably through food, because there's a much higher amount of good bacteria in food than in the capsules, and it's better absorbed also. And when you eat it through food, you're already having that fiber in the food, right? If you're having sauerkraut, you're already, giving those bacteria the food that they need to thrive in your gut. So here I have listed a long list of fermented foods. The average standard of like what is good to keep the bacteria going is 3 different types of fermented foods a week. So let's say you're someone who eats yogurt every day. Maybe try adding some apple cider vinegar in your salad dressing, and then have maybe some kimchi with dinner, and then like averaging 3 different kinds a week would be a good aim. And then for brain health, the number one thing, because earlier it said the brain is 60% fat. So make sure you have the healthy fats, because with food that has healthy fats, such as cod liver oil or healthy, fatty fish, don't forget that in that fat resides the vitamins, right? Like vitamin A, vitamin D, and that's all good for your brain and your nervous system. And so having it through food like salmon, nuts and seeds, especially walnut, chia seeds, hemp seeds, those are high in omegas and omega-3. Coconut oil, cod liver oil, and those are really good fuel for the brain. Avocado, beets, and anything with B vitamins in there, which is all represented here, the blueberries, the broccoli, and the bran of, let's say, rice. So the brown rice, just the husk of it has the B vitamins. So go for whole foods rather than refined foods. And when you eat egg, don't leave out the egg yolk. That has the choline, which is really good for your nervous system. And also spice it up with turmeric, with saffron. Turmeric, actually, they've done a study on Alzheimer's, and the population in India have the least amount of Alzheimer's because they use turmeric, and different spices, and stay hydrated. And so when you want to support happy hormones, you're really looking into having those healthy fats and a good level of lean protein, especially the ones listed here, because they give you the building blocks to make tryptophan, which is the precursor to serotonin, which is also the precursor to melatonin. So all of this is what we build in the course. There's recipes and meal plans that you can have access to. And because there's customized coaching, you can also get a customized meal plan if you want, like something that's specific to your preferences and your general health. So I added this slide here, Fondi, because I wanted to show a part of our mission, that at the end of the program, our goal is to help you reinforce your skill set to thrive, to get through stressors in life, both by removing what's getting in your way, in terms of chemical, in terms of your food, but also in terms of your thoughts and beliefs. Clean up the junk, get rid of all, the clutter that, can affect your health. But at the same time, nourish your health, because just removing and detoxing is not enough. There's nourishing. There's really supporting the elimination organs, supporting your liver, supporting your kidneys, so that they can do the job of detoxing. So you really need, many aspects of that. So I'm just going to stop sharing right now. Just want to share the rest of my screen. So this is basically the gut-brain connection. The gut bacteria, they produce all of this nutrition. Then the gut has millions of neurons that then, communicate with the vagus nerve. And this is basically how intricate our gut and our brain is connected.
Cindy,
Yes.
thank you. It's really awesome. I just want to, before you wrap up, I want to just point out there are some some requests on the chat.
Okay.
I'm not sure how you pronounce your name, but is it Nikunji? Nikunji? asked, can we get the PowerPoint by email?
So we're going to send you the replay, but this is content that's in our program. And when you join our program, you'll have access to very similar types of slides, handouts, and we have 12 lessons on nutrition, 12 on mindset, and you get handouts for all of that. And it does have all the reference, but by email, I can send you the replay and I can send you the links to the detox project so you can read more on glyphosate and various toxins.
Okay, so that addresses as well Alexandra's request for the slide on the companies and retailers when you're talking about glyphosate, I believe.
Yes, actually, that's a good point. Very good point. I can show it to you again because I went pretty quick, but you can find that on the Detox Project. That website is where I got this information. And it's a good point because, Fondi, it shows here that even organic foods, they found out also have glyphosate, but less, definitely less.
Yeah, so how do you remove that little bit? Because I started using baking soda.
Mhm.
Is that helpful?
Yeah, so if it's soaked in, then just using baking soda to wash it is not, it's not going to impact what's already soaked into the food.
Into
But
the
there are,
that's what you mean, like into the cells of the plant. That's what you
yeah,
mean.
exactly, exactly. But there's, of course, replenishing your good gut bacteria so that it makes up for, what's being affected by glyphosate. But there's supplements out there that you can also take, like fulvic acid, humic acid. There's detox supplements that you can take to absorb the glyphosate. And so you can use that. There's fibers that are very good to absorb these types of like toxins. So keeping regular is good. So if you're someone who's constipated, make sure you're eating enough variety of plants and fiber, staying hydrated so that you do have bowel movements every day. In fact, some people say, and some doctors will say up to three bowel movements a day. So basically after every meal. And they say that, if we go back to our ancestors and tribal folks, that's what they would do. And if you look at babies, that's what they would do. They're pooping while they're drinking the breast milk. They're drinking and they're like it's like a flowing thing, right? But here we've changed our lifestyle so much that it's not automatic anymore. But yeah.
Okay.
Are there any other
So since
questions?
like because we're talking about mood right now. So when you don't replenish your gut bacteria, then we're susceptible to mood disorders basically because we don't have the good bacteria to produce all that. You said serotonin?
Serotonin. That's right. Yeah, having the good gut bacteria and having enough of the good protein, healthy fats to sustain
Mhm.
that, and also the egg yolk, liver, things that have substances for your nervous system, anything that supports the vagus nerve, the communication highway. So there's
Mhm.
multiple parts to it, but for sure, fermented foods would be a really good addition if you're not already having at least one a week, one time, like one type. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
Alexandra
just
was
thinking
wondering if oats have glyphosate. So if you get organic oats, most of the time it shouldn't be a problem, but you also have to see where it's from because sometimes they do spray oats with glyphosate as well to dry it up at the end.
okay. And
It's much
Konark,
safer to get things from Europe. In Europe, they actually have much less toxicity in their gluten, and that's why some people that are gluten intolerant here, when they go to Italy to have their pasta, they actually feel fine. And I've heard of so many cases like that. They go to Europe and they can have the breads there. So maybe if you feel like this is, an area where you want to explore and your mood and your gut is really struggling, then you could try to eliminate gluten for some time. And then when you add it back, look for organic and then look for maybe products from Europe, from Italy, just to test it out. Is it possible that the vagus nerve could get damaged, says Konark? If so, what could be the consequences on the mind and the body? So the vagus nerve could get damaged through injuries. I would suggest a really good chiropractor or osteopath to make sure that your nerve supply to your stomach and to your brain is good. So there's no subluxation, compression, or any kind of damage. Usually they'd be able to help you. They'll test your reaction. Sorry, my throat is gonna give up. So yeah, so basically that's a physical ailment and you should look for help through chiropractic care or with an osteopath. And yeah, for sure, if it's damaged, there would be an effect on your gut and your digestion and on your mood, definitely. Oh, Alexandra loves the bread in Germany. Nice. I'd love to go there to try it. Oh my God. Go to Germany to try their bread.
There's
Yeah, I
actually a
don't.
wheat. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. There's actually a wheat that you can buy, like a flour that's the original non-hybridized. Because the flour we have in North America is highly hybridized so that they can create that fluffy bread.
Mm-hmm.
So I put in the link. I actually purchased it myself, and it's like it's more digestible than our modern wheat. So this is like the pre-modern farming wheat, like is the original wheat.
Mm-hmm.
So if you guys are interested, if you don't mind making your own bread, something to look into, or even if when you make cookies and whatnot at home, if you find the North American wheat not so great, this wheat is the original wheat.
Mm-hmm. Well,
So
thank you, Fondi. I'm going to check it out. Yeah, to Konark's point about the vagus nerve, and this is the reason why exercise is so important too for your gut health. Movement, mobility, like stretching, moving in different directions, dancing, Pilates is great, yoga is great. So moving could also increase circulation and help your vagus nerve. Yeah. Any other questions here?
no, I'd like to add about stress though.
Yeah.
Stress can wreck your bacteria as well. So when people go through high levels of stress, chronic stress, they can develop colitis, IBS, Crohn's disease. These are all like digestive problems, and also you can get like like ulcers. But ulcers are they're particular to like a bacteria, but you predispose yourself right
Mm-hmm.
to catch these things. And when you're in stress, you actually favor certain types of microbes in your gut over others, and then those microbes enhance the growth of the bad microbes. So they kind of like once you give the opportunity for one, they enhance the opportunity of the other ones. So then you get all these like IBS and all these issues with your gut. So
Mm-hmm.
this is a really big deal too. It's like that's the internal version of causing your body to kill off the good bacteria in your stomach and the gut. And then that when you're talking about like glyphosate and the environmental bit.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I really like our program because I like that Fondi, you help with the whole stress aspect, through meditation, through self-talk, being aware of your beliefs that's causing you stress. Because then, when you're not even aware of it, it's just this background drip of cortisol that just keeps causing this, inflammation or anxiety. But at the same time, I also really think that when you're in a resting state, calm, that's the rest and digest part. This is where the sympathetic, parasympathetic nervous system that they kick in, where it allows you to digest food properly. But when you're in fight or flight, when you're stressed out, you're not going to get enough of that stomach juices to really digest food because your body is so tense, focused on running, raised heartbeat. It's not going to be able to relax to really digest it properly. And when you don't digest food properly, that's where the aggravation also gets to the stomach lining, like I was saying, how it can get inflamed, and then you can
Mhm.
get bloated. You can get just so all sorts of indigestion, so you get less nutrient absorption. So
Yeah.
definitely, yeah, calming down, getting to be more aware of your thoughts will play into how your body metabolizes food too.
Can we say it in the more like Cindy was saying it very nice, but when you're not digesting properly, your food literally rots
Hmm.
body.
Putrefaction is what I say. It's a very bad
Yeah,
word if
it's
you think
literally
of that.
rot. So if you're
Yes.
eating meat and all that's literally it's not being digested and assimilated into your body, it's just sitting there and it's rotting in your body. So that's why it's really good to do the movement, the mindset. So if you imagine a cell, you have like environmental things, like chemicals and all those things, but then the cell is also getting all the attacks from like stress. So having a well-balanced lifestyle, eating well, great mindset will really enhance your health.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
yeah, not a short-term fix for just tomorrow, but this is like long term, because if you continue these habits that are causing issues with you now, it's going to create some chronic and some big time problems for you later. So, like, I was teaching and I was talking about, if any of you guys have like ever had plumbing issues, such as imagine you have like a sink has like a drip underneath and you don't know about it. So this water is constantly dripping and it's causing damage, and you don't know it until you either smell something or something breaks and the water's all everywhere. So that's like your health. There's something going on inside of you. You don't feel it right away, right? But you're constantly doing stuff. So you don't know your bad habits are causing havoc until one day you have like some serious issue. So this program will help you, nip it all, and hopefully help you avoid all those things.
Yes.
Everything that, yeah. Oh,
Yeah, no, exactly. Exactly. That's the goal of the program, so that you can operate with your full potential. You don't have to be held back by your thoughts and beliefs. And also the habits of building a good nutritional lifestyle. It takes time. It's just not like I can give you this meal plan and that's it. And it's also gaining the tools so that if there's changes up ahead. Let's say you're traveling, you don't have time to prepare meals. What do you do? Are there any supplements that can help you if you're not sleeping well or if you're feeling inflamed? If you're not sleeping well, how do you detox, right? So there's many aspects, and that's why there's that customized component in it. um, and I just find that to be so comprehensive.
mhm. Thank you, Cindy. Alexandra has her hand up.
Yes.
Yeah, this is great. This is great. I'm really enjoying this information. And I wanted to ask, so in this program, 6 months program, so you give how many private consultation? 6.
Yes, that's right.
One
So you can say once a month. So think
month.
of once a month. And then every week we have a group lesson. And every
Okay.
week, yeah, every week we alternate between mindset lessons and nutrition lessons.
Okay.
And we also have a private Facebook group for community to exchange their wins. We love to call them wins because, we always have to look at that side, rather than saying, what am I not doing well today? No, no, look at what you have done. Look at what you are doing. Like all these wins count.
Yeah.
Yeah. It also includes handbooks, PDFs of all the lessons, the slides. And for those who do have naturopathic insurance covered, I also offer insurance receipts for that.
That's great. Basically, I just wanted to share, not a win yet, but that I am already seeing some results. I started taking probiotics before bed that help with mood, like you shared on your slide. And I've seen that as well as a combination of me quitting coffee. I'm Greek. I'm like Italian, Mediterranean background. People really rely a lot on coffee. You have espressos, you have Greek coffee, Turkish coffee. It's like nonstop part of life.
Yeah.
And so I decided to stop that habit and see if I can kind of equalize me, because I'm like a roller coaster ride. So the mood probiotic plus reducing the caffeine, I see that I have more stable emotional as well, not just mental. And energy is like going through the day, which helps, like probably you will teach that how nutrition can help with energy levels as well.
Yes.
So yeah, I think that putting these new habits is gonna definitely, having you guys to guide, establish these habits as well is definitely needed for a transformation in all levels, I think. So yeah, I'm very interested.
That's great, Alexandra. I'm so proud of you. It's so good to hear your feedback on that. It's wonderful. Actually, I had a similar experience with kefir or kefir, however you want to like pronounce it, but it's on my YouTube channel if you want to look at how I make kefir. But many years ago, I tried making it for myself with real grains, with milk. They call it the sour milk. And I had the best night's sleep after I drank it. But it was live. It's not like store-bought. It's warm. It's room temperature. I was allowing it to ferment on my counter. And then I strained it and I drank it right away. And I was like, wow, this is so nice. It's like a hug from the inside. It was so calming. So I was a believer. Like before that, I had no idea what fermented foods or probiotics were. But when I felt that, I was like, this is like life changing. When you can sleep well, everything changes. You have, energy for the day, your mood is more stable. So it's wonderful.
Do we have any more questions? Does anyone want to ask anything or input something or share something with us? I'm going to share something. I'm going to share my new habit because I'm a teacher of habit changing. And I stopped eating sugar completely. So I don't eat anything with sweets. I don't eat anything that's made of wheat. So no white bread, no also white rice. So I eat the brown rice you're talking about with the husks.
Hmm.
And I love it. There's a chewiness, there's a crunch to it because of the shell on the outside. And I've seen a big difference. That now when I see sweets, I see it as my enemy. Like ice cream and stuff like that. I used to eat ice cream every night. Yes, I one time my life used to eat ice cream every night. Like what do you do every day that what you do every day contributes to your well-being or your decline?
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
Yeah. And
Absolutely.
slow drip, I developed what's it called? Pre-diabetes. Okay. So my slow drip was eating ice cream every day. And I wasn't thinking that I was doing something harmful. So the ice cream, I love Haagen-Dazs. So that's like pure fat and sugar. And I got diagnosed with pre-diabetes and then I cut it all out. And everything's going very well. It changes a lot of things in your body. Actually, my belly is shrunk. By the way, anyone who's got belly fat out there, cutting sugar can really reduce that belly fat.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
changing it, awesome. Yeah.
That's amazing, Fondi. And that is in our program too. In fact, cutting out sugar is one of the first lessons, and doing tapping for those who have trouble stopping their cravings. Because there's cravings for, like Alexandra was saying, for coffee. Some people be like, I really want that, but how do I overcome that intensity, that, desire? Alcohol is another that could also affect the gut bacteria. And yeah, definitely sugar. So we teach tapping techniques to interrupt that pattern. And we also teach lymphatic massage, which helps you also like drain when we talk about the gut brain. So the gut and the brain have lymphatic systems. So that too is how do you, help assist yourself manually, right? To do that kind of detox. So I'm really happy to hear that, Vandi. But I'm not surprised that cutting out sugar will make a huge difference. I mean, just one more thing I wanted to share is I have a client who used to take that syrup and put in his coffee every day. The hazelnut flavored syrup. It's sugary corn syrup, GMO corn. Every single day he would use that. And I told him to cut that out and use a little bit of stevia if you want some sweetener. He lost 2.5 pounds in a week. He was like, I can't believe this one thing that I've been doing. And that was the slow drip, that insulin rush he would get every morning, that kind of synthetic additive that he was giving it. So yeah, little things do make a big difference over time.
We have something very lovely by Alexandra Lukács.
Oh, Alexandra, I'm halfway into the 6-month program and I'm loving it. I'm experiencing the biggest positive transformation in my life. I'm very grateful to Cindy and to Fondi and Cindy for combining the concept of mind and body health. Thank you, Alexandra.
Thank you, Alexandra. Alexandra is an awesome student, I would say.
Yes,
The work. She's committed and she puts in the work. Yeah, it's a pleasure. Thank you so much for that.
thank you.
Does anyone else have any questions? Input, changes, challenges? Anyone? Alexandra, you have anything you want to share with us?
Sure. So can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I've been practicing for many years, health and mental health, following a natural path because of family situations. And this is the first time I've really focused more in detail on myself. And I have to say that the resources are so valuable that you offer, that every session we've had, not only do you provide resources, but between the students in the class, we have a collective of amazing information. I have this huge binder because I've decided to print it because I like to take notes. That's my choice. Most of it is digital, but it's such an amazing resource book that it will carry me for the rest of my days. So it's not just, I mean, it's so worth the investment, I find, because everywhere where I thought I was doing well already has been enhanced. You know, like I could give an example quickly of the lymphatic brushing session that we had, the lesson that we had. That has changed the texture of my skin. Combined with the exercise, I see quite a difference in being more aware of your body. Like almost every inch of your body, you go, oh, you know, like we become so numb, not just mentally, but physically about our body. So it's just been a great reawakening, and I'm so appreciative, and I'm so glad that I made the investment because, as you know, I went through a very big change in my life. I moved to a different country during this whole first 6 months, but I decided not to wait for the perfect time to take the course. So I managed to follow you guys during this big change in my life, and I don't regret it at all. So I mean, if you're thinking, well, I'll wait because I need to get through this, or I'll wait because until this settles down, I encourage you to just go for it. Because even in whatever you're doing in life now, whatever challenge you're facing, it's going to help you get through it, and it's going to enhance everything. So yeah. So I'm looking forward to even going back and reviewing what I missed maybe in those first 6 months because of being just extremely busy. At least I know I have that, and I have that Facebook page that we are together as a group and we share things. It's fantastic. Yeah. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Alexandra. It's so good to hear. I love it. It's amazing.
Yes, thank you, Alexandra. And you did a lot of the work, right? So I'm really proud of you. And also, we learned from you too. And, you know, being privy to your move and to your changes is such a special thing that we get to share. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Cindy. So before everyone goes, we have all the links at the very top of the screen. And if you have any questions at all, we'd be happy to answer them because I know it's a huge introduction. And just click on. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hope you have a wonderful day, everyone. Enjoy your Friday and your weekend.
Thank you. Same to you.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
And look out for the newsletter with the days.
Bye.